Hi, I wanted to demonstrate the Mind Sherpa Amazon Alexa skill. This skill is going to help you explore the design thinking approach to innovation, and it will ask questions that are going to bring you to deep thinking about the problem you're trying to innovate. We started here with displaying an iPhone where the skill is presented inside of the Alexa app. We of course would install the skill, and then we will conveniently switch to the Amazon shopping app, which gives us Alexa embedded in the phone. So a quick search through for Mind Sherpa gives us the skill itself. But then as we back up, in the upper right corner we have a little microphone. So now I'll click on it to go ahead and activate the skill. Open Mind Sherpa.
Welcome to the base camp of your exploration. To learn how to use this skill, say help. When you are ready, select your next step. You can call the step by name like empathy or by number like step 1. What step would you like to go to?
Okay, so we're going to exit. We're going to stop Alexa for now. So the way the skill is built, we have 6 steps throughout the design thinking process, but every time we complete a checkpoint, we return to the base camp. And so from the base camp, we can call the steps either by number, as in step 1, 2, 3, or by the name, like empathy, define, prototype, and so forth. So I will go ahead and restart the skill, and we're going to proceed with step 1. Open Mind Sherpa.
Welcome to the base camp of your exploration. To learn how to use this skill, say help. When you are ready, select your next step. You can call the step by name like empathy or by number like step 1. What step would you like to go to?
Help.
Exploring the design thinking process means listening to important questions and considering 6 steps. These steps are empathy, defining, ideation, prototyping, feedback, and reflection. You will immerse yourself in each step of the process at a time. You will return to the base camp after each phase. Just say base camp. At any time you can say repeat options, or go back, or skip. To hear this again, say help. It is okay to say exit skill. You can interrupt me at any time and move to a specific step. For example, you can say empathy or step 1. We will save your progress and give you time to meditate or take notes. You can say base camp or repeat options.
Step 1.
The first step to approach complex human problems is to get to know your customers and to care about their lives. It is important to understand the way they do things and why, their physical and emotional needs, how they think about world, and what is meaningful to them. For example, if you're concerned about your children playing games too much, why not observe them playing or play with them? Learn why they play, how it makes them feel, what are the alternatives from their perspective. You can say, learn about empathy, ask questions, or next step.
I'm going to stop Alexa here. So what we have at each step are 3 options. Learn more about empathy, or learn about define or prototyping. All these would give us a little bit more theory and conceptual description of what these steps represent. Perhaps the most important part of the skill are the questions that are being asked, because if we're in the car or we're somewhere else where Alexa is available, we can hear the questions and really reinvestigate our approach to solving problems and innovating. So the questions themselves asked by Alexa help us to think and revisit the very approach that we have to the solving of the problem. Once we have completed our exploration, we can say the next step, and that takes us then to the next step within design thinking. So let's go ahead and play out the questions for this step. Open Mind Sherpa.
I have found your previous saved progress. To continue from where you left off, say resume skill. Otherwise, say reset skill.
Resume skill.
The first step to approach complex human.
Ask questions.
Did you try to get to know your customers as people, not just users, students, or even kids? Did you ask open-ended questions about how they live and work? Did you take the time to listen to their stories to understand their hopes, fears, and goals that motivate them? Can you try to put yourself in their shoes to absorb the highs, lows, and nuances of their lived experiences firsthand? Did you get a chance to understand the context of their activities? They don't live in a bubble. Someone relies on them and they rely on someone else. Did you notice who you can help around your customers to create most effective help for them? Did you try to find out what is at stake for your customers?
A next step.
Congratulations. You've reached your first checkpoint. Rest a little. Now, we need to return to the base camp. The next step, after learning about empathy and after embedding yourself with the perspective of your customers, you should try to define the problem. Likely, there are multiple problems involved, but analyzing, or taking the situation apart, to understand the key problem you have the power to affect will require deep reflection. For example, once you played video games with your kids, you might have noticed that they use them to escape from emotional problems caused by family tensions or loneliness. Perhaps the amount of time they spend playing is part of the problem you want to address. Perhaps your definition will begin with what your kids are not doing that you would like to see accomplished. Learn how to define a problem in step 2. Say base camp, or say go back.
Base camp.
Welcome to the base camp of your exploration. To learn how to use this skill, say help. When you are ready, select your next step. You can call the step by name like empathy or by number like step 1. What step would you like to go to?
Step 2.
The second step, after developing empathy for the customers, is to craft a meaningful and actionable problem statement. This is the define phase. This should be a guiding statement that focuses on insights.
Exit. So we see here that each step then has the same structure where we learn more, we get more definitions, then we have the questions that really go to the core of the application of a step, and then we can move to the next step, which happens to take us through the base camp, and then the next step where maybe we have examples of ideation and what are the possible results of this phase. And then we go with prototype, and then we move on to feedback, and then we move on to reflection, which happens to be at the peak of the mountain reclimbing, providing new perspectives and using this metaphor of the journey to the top as a way to explore and discover new solutions for very difficult problems. So this is the Alexa skill. It's going to keep track of your steps so that when you exit anytime, it'll remember where you left off. And it's going to be something that we can revisit many, many times as we consider different problems. Because just like the big ravine in the picture here, there are certain shortcuts that our mind takes very quickly. There are slippery slopes in our thinking, and asking the right questions during the innovation process, during problem solving, that is what's required, and this is where Alexa can help us. And what a paradox that Alexa, after just a little bit of machine learning, is able to teach us a few things about thinking as well. Thank you.